He came home at 11:47 p.m. The sound of his keys in the door used to make me feel safe. That night, it sounded like the opening scene of an execution. He smiled when he saw me, like a man coming home to peace. His shirt was untucked, a faint trace of perfume that wasn't mine hanging on him like a confession. Then he said it, calmly, almost proudly. I slept with her. He didn't flinch, didn't stutter, didn't look sorry. My boss, he added, and no, I don't regret it. I looked at him, then at my untouched dinner. Steak, wine, the meal I'd made hours ago, believing the silence on my phone was just him working late again. I didn't cry, didn't throw anything. I just chewed my food and said quietly, "I see." That was the last honest word I ever gave him. We met in college. He was the type everyone noticed. The easy smile, the loud laugh, the ambition that burned a little too bright. I was quieter, steadier, the kind of woman who made lists and kept promises. He said I grounded him. I believed that was love. When he proposed, he told me he couldn't imagine a future without me. I remember that now with a kind of cold amusement, because it wasn't the future he couldn't imagine, it was accountability. The first sign was subtle, a new password on his phone, then a new cologne, then the way he started saying, "You wouldn't understand." He'd turn his screen away when I walked in, say he was tired, stop touching me like he used to. I knew before he said it, I just didn't have proof. Until one night, his phone lit up on the counter, a text from her. Last night was worth the risk. My hands shook, but only once. Then I steadied. I deleted nothing. I took pictures. I forwarded the messages to my email, and then I smiled. I spent the next week pretending to be the same woman who kissed him goodbye each morning, pretending not to notice when he came home smelling of her perfume. But I wasn't grieving anymore. I was building. He didn't know I handled our finances, that every shared account had my name first, that the house deed, though we both paid, was legally mine. He also didn't know I'd started recording things, conversations, receipts, that I'd already spoken to a lawyer. Infidelity clauses can be brutal when the evidence is clear, especially in this state. So when he came home that night, reeking of pride and another woman's skin, I let him speak, let him gloat, and I said nothing, because the next morning my silence would speak louder. He woke up expecting coffee and breakfast, as usual. I was in the kitchen, calm, dressed, my suitcase already by the door. The air smelled like toasted bread, and something else, anticipation. On the counter was a single envelope, his name written neatly on it. "What's this?" he asked, still half asleep. "Everything you deserve," I said. He laughed, thought it was another of our little spats. Then he opened it. Inside were the photos, the messages, the divorce papers, the bank transfer receipts, the letter from my lawyer. His smile fell piece by piece. You planned this?" I met his eyes. "No," I said softly, "you did." He started to speak, but I stopped him. "You'll notice your credit card's frozen. The car outside, it's leased in my name. You might want to call your boss, though. HR tends to take workplace affairs seriously." I watched it hit him, first disbelief, then fear. He stumbled back, the paper shaking in his hands. "You're destroying my life," he said. "No," I corrected, "I'm just cleaning up mine." He tried calling me for days after I left. I never picked up. He sent messages that started with anger and ended with apologies. By the end of the week, he was suspended. By the end of the month, he was gone from the company altogether. The woman he risked everything for, she stayed. She always had more to lose by leaving. I heard he moved back in with his mother, that the world he built on arrogance collapsed quietly around him. Sometimes I think about that night, the way he smiled as he told me the truth, thinking he'd broken me. He never realized the real betrayal wasn't that he slept with her. It was that he thought I was weak enough to forgive it. Now, when I wake up, the house is silent, peaceful, my coffee is hot, my phone doesn't vibrate with lies. And every time I take a sip, I remember the look on his face that morning, standing in the kitchen, holding his ruined life in trembling hands. That was the moment everything ended for him.